trying to find oils for insect bites. And I came up with two of them, tea tree and German chamomile.
Sure.
Are there any others?
Yeah, there's a few others like any sort of chamomile, like yarrow, milfoil, but a lot of times, like even lavender for ones that aren't so bad, like a really bad sting or something, I'd go helichrysum or German chamomile or yarrow or something. But lavender for like, mosquito bite or, something along that lines, or Roman chamomile, German chamomile, something like that. Dark blue tansy or regular blue tansy could also work. Um, in a pinch, you could even use like blue cypress or Cape chamomile, something of in that realm. I suspect I've never done this, but I suspect even something uh, like vetiver or spikenard might work. Even for like a sting that's kind of bad. Because the thing with vetiver is it helps to regulate a hyperreactive immune response. And so, like, it still strengthens the immune system, but has like a regulating effect on that. And really, when you're looking at an insect bite, beside like if there's a poison or something, you're having like an inflammatory reaction. And so, the quicker you can regulate that inflammatory response, the better. See, as I'm even saying that, myrrh could be another one very easily. Myrrh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so this is a very related question to
hmm
that.
hmm
My youngest daughter has Skeeter syndrome, which when she gets certain bites, usually from mosquitoes, it swells up to a huge size. And it's like a hard bump where the bite was.
hmm
Uh, and it's weird. I looked it up, and yes, it's a real thing. Not a lot of people get it. And it's more about when you haven't had exposure to the particular variant of mosquito,
hmm
your body doesn't know what to do, so it swells up. Would these same oils apply?
Well, probably. I mean, I would say it would reduce some of the inflammation and the swelling inside. I mean, I would do a couple of things. Like I would do those things immediately, and then maybe 12 hours later, 24 hours later, I would probably start using bay laurel on the same area. Um, And the reason being, still antibacterial and things like that, but now you're starting to work like the lymph nodes and things. The other thing that I would do is I would give her like quercetin. I don't, how old is she?
She's old enough. She's 33.
Oh, 33. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Um, I would probably give her like maybe 3 tablets twice a day for a little while. And the idea is that you're trying to lower histamine levels in the body and regulate a bit of the allergic response. And so, there's oils that are helpful in lowering the histamine and um, helping to reduce that response. One that we don't talk about hardly at all is it's actually a type of cumin. It's not black cumin. It's I think we have it on the site as C. odorata, right? Odorum. Yeah. So C. odorum, and it's the kind of cumin that it kind of smells like Mexican food. You know what I mean? It's that spice that's in Mexican food. Um, It's it's even used like it has like a very strong antihistamine effect to the point where, like an old medical aromatherapy thing to even treat insomnia would be to take, 5, 6 drops of the Ceodorum before you went to bed. And it's a lot like taking a Tylenol PM. The PM part of the Tylenol is just Benadryl. And so, like the lowering of the histamine, like kind of calms the body down and that allergic response down. And certain forms of insomnia are actually just allergies. It's the body is in an agitated state, and what you're trying to calm down is not emotions; it's actually allergies. And so that probably would have to be taken internal. And, unless she wants to smell like enchiladas or something, probably best not to wear it.
And so
It's I find it to be a pleasant scent, but it's a strong scent. Like, even when you blend it, you go, there's some other oils in there with that kind of cumin. Like
how
it's
many
not a bad
drops?
smell, but it doesn't smell like lavender or something, you know what I mean? And so
How many
I
drops
would
would
I
you
would do that in
suggest?
what's that?
How many drops would you suggest?
I mean I would probably go 5 or 6 drops like every night. Um
Until it's gone or just in
I would
general?
treat it for a while just because that allergic state is there. And so I'd say at least probably every day for maybe 30 days.
Okay.
And you might even get away with not doing the quercetin. I would probably still do the quercetin as well, but y- I have a buddy who's a biochemist and into all this stuff, and he has people take 9 drops of it a day, like at night. And I've tried that. I found it to be a little excessive. And 5 or 6 is pretty good. It's a little bit more than a casual dosage, but you know, um, casual dosage just being like 2 or 3 drops, and so you're almost kind of like doubling that. But if you do it once a day, that's fine.
Would this be the kind of thing that could bring a change to her body so she doesn't react?
Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah.
So it's so do it for 30 days and then evaluate, see if she gets bitten again and if it
I would
flares
say
up.
it will probably, I mean, like my body was in an allergic state and back in my early 20s, and I did a form of this, and it took almost 4 months to get me out of it. But like things that I was allergic to, I was no longer allergic to, and most people, I would say 30 days is good, but there are going to be extreme situations with a really hyper vigilant or hyper reactive immune system where it might need to happen longer. But the goal would be that when she got bitten, that, she didn't really have a reaction, or she had a very minor reaction that's like normal, like how you would have a reaction. But like even then, the more that you treat allergies, the more that you don't respond to those kinds of bites and things. Like you might get bitten, but your body is like, not a big deal. Like I'll give you an example. Like, no, this was like 20 years ago or something. And you remember there was that big bed bug outbreak on the East Coast. I think it was like in the news and things where just people would go
Yes.
to like fancy hotels and walk away covered in bed bug bites, and so I had several clients that like had reached out, and they were like, what oils, or do I need a healing, or what needs to happen? And I was like, just get some quercetin and take quercetin for a little bit. And you know if they didn't have access to quercetin, I was just like, go to the drugstore and just get some Benadryl. Like, go over the counter at the drugstore and just And I mean, every time it took the reaction away from the bed bugs. And it's an inflammatory response. And, we think of allergies as being, you know, grasses and molds but it's all kinds of things, including like bug bites and things like that. You're having like a kind of allergic response. And so if you just calm it down, like the body doesn't quite have the reaction.
Yeah, you mentioned hypervigilant or hyperreactive.
Hmm.
Uh, so Theodorum helps calm that. Are there other ways of approaching it too? Or is that the best
The
way?
immune vagal tone from the weekend, the inflammatory vagal tone, like those kinds of things would do it as well. Um, I do have one for the allergic response, like for vagal tone, and it has Theodorum in it. Um, I'm glad to provide that for you, but I gotta tell you, it makes the body release quite intensely. So I haven't really put it out to people. You know, it 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 re-educates the immune response, which is good, but it does it like so fast that it almost is a little uncomfortable. Like you would have to do healings on her when she would inhale it. Like it's kicking off so much stress first, especially if somebody has had like really bad allergies. The level and degree that you'll kick off stress is to the point where it's uncomfortable.
Okay, yeah,
And
that
so
won't
I'm
work.
just the deodorant by itself much more pleasant. Like you
Okay.
just kind of feel relaxed and whatever. But like I'm glad to give you some if you want. But
No, I think for her the Theodorum and the quercetin,
yeah,
in
that's most people. That's
combination.
what I just usually have them do.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
you mentioned it first, Bayloral. Was that internal as
The,
well?
she could she could do it internal, but like on the sites, I would say I would probably do it like on the joints above where, like if she got bit on the forearm, I'd probably do it like on the elbow and maybe up at the armpit a little bit just to keep the lymph moving. Because like here's the thing also is when your allergies, when you're in an allergic state, your lymphatic system is not functioning very well. Like it's just like allergy state means very low function in the lymphatic system. So even lowering the allergic state improves the body's ability to detoxify.
And so a side note of this is about 2 weeks ago, I had some sort of bite on my forearm.
Mhm.
Have no idea if it was a spider or a mosquito or even something else. And I got a big giant welt on my arm. It didn't even really start to go down for a whole week. And then over
Wow,
the next
that's a
week,
good bite. Yeah.
yeah, it finally went away. I, what I did to treat it was just topical to reduce the itchiness,
Mhm.
uh, because I wasn't sure what the bite was and if putting helichrysum would take it into the bloodstream too fast for my body to handle. Because
Mhm.
I still don't know what it was from, and I
Mhm.
probably never will. But hers are
That
bigger
kind of
than,
sounds a little bit like a spider bite, maybe.
yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah.
But hers are clearly bigger than that.
Yeah.
And her body's not as good at dealing with conditions as mine. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, she needs some help.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as you're saying that, another thing you could throw at it, and also a bit of a lymphatic decongestant is pine. You could throw pine oil instead of bay laurel. It's like sometimes when you have like a really chronic thing, I gotta talk about like rotating things, like what was it, like 3 or 4 months ago, I had a bad spider bite.
Uh,
And like I looked at it, I was like, I should probably go to the doctor, but I don't know. And we just treated it. And, helichrysum made it better, but only so far. And then
okay,
I would try Bayloral and it got a little bit better, and then only so far. And then um, in New Mexico, they make these like salves and stuff, like the local Indians for like bites and cuts and everything, and it's like pine. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try that. And pine is a lymphatic decongestant and everything, and that took it down quite a bit. And it was like not one thing nailed it, but like just continually kind of rotating. Like I do the pine for a few days, and then I'd go back to the helichrysum, and we were able to get rid of it. But it took, I don't know, about 10 days, 12 days. And like you, it was like a big old welt. And
yeah,
I mean, it was obviously like you could see the two little bite marks. And
I couldn't see any bite marks.
yeah.
I think it had just swelled up so much I couldn't see anything there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's possible.
And the fact when I look at it, I can tell where the bite was still because the skin overstretched at that point.
Hmm.
So it's peeling back a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
that sounds like a spider bite.
yeah, it's fine now. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you very much. That'll help. I'll get my
Yeah,
daughter
and
started.
keep us posted, and but that hopefully that should do the trick.